welcome to Radio Guy Online Evening News. My name is Adelaide Obobisa. Into the headlines: a Japan deal not suspended, Pius denies claims. Claim Chairman Untumi shows off gold bars during radio discussion. Mahama will keep his promise, Ashama MP to Okada riders. Coronavirus, no positive cases recorded following airport reopening, according to GHS. A Japan deal. Gabioche Daku's law firm pocketed $103,000, according to Bekubako. Eligible voters vow not to vote due to bad roads. Girl stabbed to death at Subriso. Anglo Gold Ashanti Iduaprim embarks on US $400,000 aquaculture projects in business. Kenya freezes assets of Al-Shabaab financiers. Andre Ayew is set to leave Swansea City this summer. Forget NDC's court threats. I will release Papano. And now to the first story. Deputy Information Minister Pius Enam Hajidi has denied claims that the Japan royalties deal has been suspended. Mark Ejane, the technical manager for PIAC, told the media after meeting with Finance Minister Ken Ofori-Atta on the controversial deal that the government had agreed to suspend the arrangements for broader consultation with all stakeholders. But speaking on Thursday, the deputy minister said government is willing to share information on areas that appear unclear to the public and still go ahead with the deal. Meanwhile, flag bearer of the National Democratic Congress, NDC, John Mahama, has reiterated his decision not to respect the Japan mineral royalties agreement if he becomes president. He says he will abrogate the agreement and has therefore urged government to desist from signing the deal. Flamboyant Ashanti Regional Chairman of the ruling New Patriotic Party (NPP), Bernard Enchiboesiakun, popularly known as Chairman Wontumi, has reiterated how wealthy he is. In a video circulating on social media, the NPP chairman is seen showcasing his numerous gold bars he owns on Wontumi TV, screaming solid money while removing the gold bars one by one from a bag. Chairman Wontumi said the bars attest to the fact that he is very wealthy. The outspoken politician has said in the past that he was making $1 million at a point when he was dealing small-scale mining. His mining firm, Hamso Company Limited, according to him, was one of the successful and top mining companies with footprints mainly in the western region. Member of Parliament for Ashaman constituency, Ernest Henry Nugbe, has asked Okada drivers in the constituency to trust former President John Mahama's promise to regularize their activities. Describing the NDC as a party with a leadership of concern, he said the promise is not just for political power, but would be delivered if Mahama is re-elected. Ernest Henry Nugbe organized and addressed all the Okada riders in the Ashaman constituency this morning. He gave them hope and promised that he would do everything possible to make sure the promise made by John Mahama comes to pass. Former President John Mahama last month promised to legalize the Okada business should he win the December 7, 2020 polls. The Ghana Health Service has said no positive cases of COVID-19 have been recorded among passengers arriving through Ghana's main airports, Kotoka International Airports. According to the Director General of the GHS, Dr. Patrick Kuma Abuaji, 217 passengers were tested on the first day of the reopening of the airport to international AIR traffic, while 30 passengers were tested on the second day. Speaking at a press briefing on September 3rd, 2020, Dr. Kumar Bwaji said this was a result of the accuracy of the antigen tests, which are being conducted on passengers entering the country. Meanwhile, passengers entering Ghana will be required to pay an amount of $150 for COVID-19 tests to be conducted. Passengers will then proceed to the sampling cubicle for their samples to be taken before descending to the main arrival hall. The Deputy Health Minister, Dr. Bernard Okoboy, at a press briefing on Monday, August 31st, justified the cost of the testing as a good bargain. He added that arriving passengers who test negative will proceed to the immigration area and onto baggage claim for their luggage and then exit the terminal, while persons who test positive will receive further clinical assessment and treatment. Veteran journalist Kweku Bako has dispelled notions that Africa Legal Associates, a law firm owned by Gabi Asare Oshodako, was paid $2 million for its work on the Japan royalties agreement. The figure has been bandied about by some persons as the amount Gabi and his firm grabbed for the advisory role on the deal. But Bako claims the quoted amount is way above what was paid the law firm by government. He clarified that a UK-based law firm was the principal advisors on the deal and Africa Legal Associates worked for the firm. One major issue that has emanated from the brouhaha surrounding the deal surrounding the deal is the role of Osafo Marfo's son and Gabi Oshodako. By the assertions of nepotism, the likelihood of conflicts of interest has been brought up by the people who are happy with the presence of the two individuals around that deal. Bako, however, thinks that people are making a molehill out of a mountain. Bako likened it to Ibrahim Maham's companies getting contracts during Mahama regime and Nana Konadu Agyemang Rawlings under the Rawlings regime. Meanwhile, the government has replaced the deal on ice to allow further deliberations with civil society organizations. Mark Agyemang, the technical manager for the public interest and the accountability committee, says the government is prepared to listen to the CSOs. In other stories, some residents at Tafo, Adompom, in the Ashanti region have vowed not to vote in the coming elections due to the poor nature of their roads. According to them, several complaints have been lodged about how poor the Century Road is. For over 10 years, the road has been in this poor state, they said. The residents indicated that their roads have been abandoned by both the previous government and the current government. Some residents in the area, speaking to the Ghana Crusader, shared their grievances. She explained further that due to the poor state of the road, drivers charge them huge sums of money before using the road. The Century Road is in a poor state, and residents are calling on the government to come to their aid. And in business, to create a sustainable future of shared value with all stakeholders, to create a sustainable future of shared value to all stakeholders, AngloGold Ashanti Iduaprim Mine has implemented, among other things, an aquaculture project to address unemployment within its host communities. The Stephen Ejay, Senior Manager, Sustainability of the Iduapriem Mine, briefed the Executive Director of Ghana's Fisheries Commission, Mr. Michael Arthur Dadzie, and his entourage on the work done on the 14-acre, $400,000 aquaculture project. He said the job done on the project was progressing smoothly, with the construction of ponds, tanks, and water treatment facility near completion. Mr. Stephen Ejay has confirmed that the Iduapriem mine has procured 25,000 fingerlings to stock the ponds and tanks. The project would employ community members both as permanent workers on the farm and in the value chain. He reiterated the mine's commitment is making the communities in which it operates better for the mine being there. In this regard, revenue realized from the sale of the fish would be reinvested in other community development projects. Mr. Michael Arthur Dadzie, the Executive Director of the Fisheries Commission, lauded Iduapriem Mine for finding innovative ways to improve and sustain the incomes of community members through its aquaculture project. During a working visit to the mine's aquaculture site at Tebiribie in the Takwa Insuyem municipality, Mr. Michael Arthur Dadzie obtained first-hand information on the project and sought way for further collaboration with the mine. In international news, Kenya has frozen the assets of 9 people it accuses of funding Somalia's militant group, Al-Shabaab. The Interior Minister said the move was part of its renewed counter-terrorism efforts aimed at tackling domestic terrorists. In a statement, Internal Security Minister Fred Matiang'i said the freezing of assets of the 9 Kenyans would ensure they no longer financed Al-Shabaab group with the borders. He also warned that the group was recruiting, radicalizing, and planting operatives among civilians. The announcement came as Kenya's President Uhuru Kenyatta told global leaders that the COVID-19 pandemic had heightened potential for terrorist acts, worsened the refugee crisis, and led to the proliferation of small arms and light weapons in the Horn of Africa region. Kenya has faced numerous attacks from Al-Shabaab since deploying its troops on Somalia in 2011 to combat the group. The president was speaking during a virtual meeting of the Aqaba process on COVID-19, convened by King Abdullah II of Jordan, that was also attended by Canadian Prime Minister Justin Trudeau, President Rodrigo Duterte of the Philippines, and UN Secretary General Antonio Guterres to discuss the COVID-19 pandemic and global security. In sports, Swansea City manager Steve Cooper expects some players to leave the club in the coming weeks, including Black Stars keeper Andre Dede Ayew, given the club's financial situation. Andre Ayew enjoyed a superb year, scoring 18 goals in all competitions and setting up 7 more as he helped Steve Cooper's side to reach the championship playoffs. The 30-year-old, who is Swansea's highest earner, has a year left on his contract, and the championship club may have to let him leave for financial reasons. And entertainment, Ghana musician Berima Sydney is gearing up towards the release of his Papano music video. Speaking in an interview with the controversial musician said threats and court injunction from the opposition National Democratic Congress won't stop him from releasing the video. After he distanced himself from an earlier video, which had the images of ex-president John Mahama. Sydney revealed he has seen a letter asking for an injunction to be placed on the Papano song. However, the African Money composer averred he is yet to be served with any writ of summons or letter asking him to stop releasing his video. He explained that he got an inspiration from the fracas that ensued between Tracy Boache, Mesbel, and Kani Gloria, but the character in the song was not the Papano they talked about in their conversations. Sydney emphasized that the song has nothing to do with the former president. He therefore asked his fans to anticipate for the release of the Papano video on Thursday, September 3rd, 2020. And this ends the evening news on Radio Guy Online. My name is Adelaide Ofel Bobisa. Have a good evening.